You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, General Hospital fans, we have got Drew Quartermaine on the warpath and playing dirty against his own family. And we have to wonder, is his thirst for revenge going to kill Monica Quartermaine? It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to talk about how Drew's awful antics might take a toll on Monica's already fragile health and end her life. But first, click subscribe if you're not following us. You know, it's no secret that Tracy and Monica have had more than their fair share of conflict over the years on General Hospital. But deep down at this point of their lives, you know, Tracy and Monica have this deep respect. They love each other and they are in a very good place. And for a while now, Tracy has been vocal about not wanting anyone to rock the boat or upset Monica in any way because her health is fragile. And that's why when the whole scandal with Drew cheating with Michael's wife, Willow, came out, Tracy was very worried about the effect it would have on Monica. Not to mention, that was at the same time that Michael nearly died in the explosion at Sonny's, and he was rushed to Germany to be treated for all his third-degree burns. And all of that is stress for Monica, and that's also why Tracy banned Drew from the Quartermaine grounds. And shortly after that, Drew was stunned, hurt, shocked when he kept trying to reach Monica to get her to override Tracy, but Monica wouldn't even take his calls. And she seemed to be completely okay with Tracy kicking him off the Q property. And Monica was also on board and supportive when Tracy was desperate to keep Michael's children at the mansion. So, you know, Monica adores her great-grandchildren, and Tracy wanted her to be able to spend as much time with them as possible. And Tracy even confided in her new bestie, Stella Henry, about how hard it's going to be when Monica passes away. So they're setting everything up. And right now, Drew is completely off the rails. He's ruthlessly trying to stick it to Tracy. And to be fair, she did provoke Drew by getting a court order banning him from calling himself a Quartermaine. But despite Tracy also playing dirty, it could absolutely be Drew's actions and the stress he's causing that kills Monica. I mean, sadly, GH fans know that her character death is coming and probably coming soon because her portrayer, Leslie Charlson, passed away not that long ago. The Monica actress, if you don't remember, died January 12th of this year. She was 79, nearly 50 years on General Hospital. I mean, gosh, I just remember watching her when I was a kid, you know? Her cause of death was revealed to be a result of traumatic brain injury, and that was down to some balance issues. Leslie had been having a really hard time getting around. She was using a wheelchair, using a walker, and we know she suffered a fall not long before her death, which had just been one in a series of falls over the last few years that had just been catastrophic to her health. And all of that led to the head injury that ended her life. And of course, the General Hospital showrunners are going to write out the character of Monica Quartermaine. They're not going to recast it. That's out of the question. Fans would be absolutely outraged. So no matter how they do it, Monica's character will exit as part of a death storyline. And the way things are going with Drew, it looks increasingly like Monica passing away could be caused by his drama and the vengeful chaos he is engaging in constantly. And his lawyer, Martin, is helping stir the pot. Drew recently had a surveyor come to the Quartermaine estate to survey the land and found out that the Quartermaine family crypt is partially on public land, plus it was illegally taken by Edward Quartermaine. So Drew and Martin Gray made a really slimy move. They got a court order to move the crypt and the remains inside it, and that includes Tracy's parents, Edward and Lila Quartermaine, and her brother Alan Quartermaine, Monica's ex-husband. And, you know, this is low even for Drew. And Tracy was furious, and in her rage, she knocked a tool from the surveyor's hand, and Drew called it assault, and he had Tracy arrested, but that's not going to stop her. She told Drew he betrayed everybody and hurt Monica, who had welcomed him into her home when he showed up, you know, just a few years back. And Tracy even told Drew he should leave Port Charles. But Drew clapped back and reminded Tracy that she was once the black sheep of the family and everybody wanted her gone at one point, and said it could happen again. Drew declared he is a Quartermaine and will get his way. But eventually, Mayor Laura convinced Drew drop the charges on Tracy because it's not going to work out well for him. It's just not good optics politically. Martin backed Laura up, so Drew finally backed down, said the war is far from over, though, on General Hospital. And then Drew told Martin he will break Tracy. And he is determined to get the Qs to turn on her, but it seems like there's no way that would happen. And Tracy called him a grifter and said she wouldn't let him use the Quartermaine family name or move her parents from their final resting place. Just Drew's being awful, and this whole ordeal absolutely, I think, could be the tipping point that robs Monica of her last bit of health and kills her. If Drew doesn't stop and he keeps ripping the family apart, Monica might literally die of a broken heart. And Drew trying to move Alan's remains and the remains of other people Monica loved and targeting the family is just too much. So the shock of what Drew is doing may be so great, Monica goes into cardiac arrest or some other dire medical crisis. I mean, we know the powers that be at General Hospital have to write out Leslie Charlson's character at some point, and it's been going on a while, so my guess it'll come soon, maybe in May sweeps. And Drew seems the likeliest source of blame for Monica's death. And if he is found to be responsible, or the family thinks he is, Drew will be hated forever. Not just by the whole Q family, but most people in Port Charles and over at General Hospital, because Monica was such a legacy there. And if Drew's aggravating antics stress Monica to death, he would be more hated than ever, and by even more people. And sadly, of course, Monica's story must end. And while they are completely villainizing him and making him worse by the day, I can see them making Drew the cause of her death. We'll have to wait and see. But since GH wants him to be the most hated man in town, placing the blame for Monica's death at his doorstep seems like someplace they might go. Drew is already irredeemable after what he did with Willow and to Michael by doing that, and then now moving Willow and the kids in with him. So he doesn't have much further to fall, but if it is Drew that triggers Monica's death, that's about as far as he could fall. And I don't think anyone in Port Charles would ever see him the same way again.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.